As of last night, the Warriors officially aren't going to make the playoffs this year. And that's crazy because if there was no play-in tournament, they would be facing up against the Utah Jazz in the first round. Look at this. The Grizzlies are in the playoffs with a worse record than the Warriors. And I think that will ruin Steph's legacy. Entering the season, Steph was challenged to raise the floor for a team. Even though he was already doing this in 2013, people wanted to ignore that. During the championship years, Curry had been blessed with good pieces around him. And we know how good of a ceiling raiser he was, but this year the task was to carry a team. Now, people can actually say he didn't carry them to the playoffs. And although that would be technically correct, they would just be degrading Stephen Curry and sending a deceptive message. On May 19th, 2021, the Golden State Warriors faced off against the Los Angeles Lakers in the first round of the play-in tournament. Whoever wins this game got to face the 2-seeded Phoenix Suns in the first round, and whoever lost this game would have to face the Grizzlies in a winner-go-home game. Going into the game, the Lakers were clearly the better team. But this year, they didn't play together that much, and they were still coming back from injury. And the Warriors were gaining momentum, and Steph Curry was going crazy. And in the end, the Warriors lost. And this came down to one deep three where LeBron claimed to have seen 3 rims and just aimed for the middle one. Stephen Curry finished the game with 37 points, 7 rebounds and 3 assists on 52% shooting from the field and 67% shooting from 3. A healthy Lakers team is arguably the best team in the league, so the Warriors losing this is understandable, and they only lost by 1 shot. And just last night, on May 22nd, the Golden State Warriors faced off against the Memphis Grizzlies. Whoever won this game would make it to the playoffs, and whoever loses would have to just go home. Going into the game, the Warriors look like the better team because they have a top 5 defense in the league and one of the best players in the league. And although the Grizzlies didn't have an all-star on this team, they had so many good players and was a good, deep team. And anything can happen in one game. That was the scary thing. And the Warriors lost once again. If Draymond made this floater, they would have won the game and went to the playoffs. But he didn't, and the game went to overtime. And in the last minute or two in overtime, the Warriors kept turning the ball over, and Memphis was just hitting their shots. And the Warriors lost by 5. But Steph Curry had a great game and put up 39 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 steals, shooting 46% from the field and 40% from 3. Ja Morant and the Grizzlies were just hitting their shots, and they played a better game. And even when Curry played his heart out and had amazing games in the play-in tournament, there will still be people out there discrediting Steph Curry. He had arguably his best season ever, and it's just insane to know there will be people degrading him as a player just because of this year and how they didn't make the playoffs. Any other year in the league, the Warriors would have made it, but because of the play-in tournament, they didn't. They went up against arguably the best team in the league with 2 superstars and a good roster surrounding them, and they lost by 1 shot. And then they lost the next game that went into overtime. There have been other players that have carried teams to the playoffs. But the thing is that a lot of these teams are built around the player. Steph Curry has no spacing and almost no help on the offensive end. The Warriors aren't even a deep team at all this year either. Klay Thompson has been out for the whole season, and there was a stretch where the Warriors had no big man, and Juan Toscano Anderson played the 5. And in the playing games, Kelly Oubre, which is their 3rd scoring option, which is kind of crazy to say, was sitting out, and James Wiseman sat out too. And they had Kent Bazemore in the starting lineup and played 25 minutes a game in the play-in tournament. And I don't think rational NBA fans will discredit Steph Curry for not making the playoffs this season, but it's just one more thing that the haters are able to bring up. I'm not so concerned about what people will be saying in the next few years, because most of them have watched Steph Curry play this year, and they have seen his greatness. But what he did in the month of April was amazing to see. Averaging 37 points on crazy shooting averages, and just watching him break all these records was just beautiful to see. And people will remember that. But when the new wave of fans come in like 10 or 20 years that didn't see what Steph Curry did, they aren't going to know exactly how good or bad the surrounding pieces were. They would see Steph Curry put up great stats and won the scoring title, but they won't see the impact he had on the game, and they won't see the full truth. I think that they'll just see him as a great individual player that can raise the floor, but not to an elite level, which just isn't true. Especially when people rank him all time, this season is going to hurt his legacy, when it shouldn't. People will be able to bring that up without understanding the full context of the season. Similar to how some people bring up that he has no finals MVPs. In the 2015 finals, Steph Curry got better in the finals and was clearly the best player on the team. If Steph wasn't on that team, they wouldn't be anywhere close to the finals. And that's no knock on Iguodala, because he stepped up too and played incredible defense on LeBron. But there's no way he should have won. And in 2018, Kevin Durant and Steph Curry both played amazing. Steph Curry deserves 1 or 2 finals MVPs depending on who you ask, but yet there are still people out there that discredit Curry because he didn't win a finals MVP. Instead of looking at how well he played, they just say he didn't win the award, which makes no sense at all. And this season adds on to a narrative similar to that. Instead of looking on how well he played and the impact he had, people will just say he didn't make the playoffs and that's it. When I say a team missed the playoffs, what do you think of? A 10th or 11th seed? A lottery pick in the draft? A team that's rebuilding? These are the types of teams that miss the playoffs, and when you say the 2021 Warriors didn't make the playoffs, that's the message you're sending. The type of people that will bring that up in an argument in the first place sure as hell won't give Steph Curry enough credit and won't mention that if there was no play-in tournament, they would be in the playoffs. Just remember his greatness and what Curry brings to the table. Don't be that guy to bring up misleading or deceptive arguments. Preach the truth and realize the great things Steph Curry has done for the game. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I respond to every comment, so let me know what you think in the comments down below. Subscribe for future basketball content, and thank you for watching.